Welcome dear viewers to the video on D10, D50, D90 and D100 key PSD parameters for drug substances. So whenever you are working in the pharmaceutical field, you might have come across these terminologies. So this video is very important video for all the pharma professionals, and this video is related to both APIs and also to the formulations. Starting with the video, let's start with some introduction about the terminologies. So the pharmaceutical powders or the APIs or drug substances have different particle population, or powders have different particle population with various sizes, and this particle population will have, or this particle population contains the particle of different sizes. Whenever you perform the particle size analysis, you will get the data with some graphs and some values like D10, D50, D90 and D100. So what is the exact meaning of these terms? The diameter below which 10% of the particles fall is D10, and you can clearly see in this image that D10 means the diameter or the particle size below which 10% of the particles fall. D50 is the median diameter, and where 50% of the particles are smaller and the 50% are larger. D90 is the diameter below which 90% of the particles fall. That means 10% of the particles may have larger particle size than D90. And D100 means the maximum particle size, the largest particle. So this is the basic information about the D10, D50, D90 and D100. So from this figure you can understand these terminologies. D10 means it is the particle size below which 10% particles will fall. D50 is the median or mean particle size below which 50% particles will fall and above 50% of the particles will fall. That means if you considered D50 as 100 micron, so that time understand that 50% of the particles are having the particle size below 100 micron and 50% of the particles are having diameter or particle size above 100 micron. D90 means the particle size below which 90% of the particles will fall, and D100 means it is the largest particle size. So coming to the D50, D50 is the median diameter, and this is the most important parameter whenever you are setting the particle size specification for pharmaceuticals. D50, as we have seen, that it is a mean diameter or it is a mean particle size, it is a median or it is the average particle size, and it represents the central value of the particle size distribution. So it is a central value. It is crucial for the drug substance performance because D50 influences the dissolution rate, it affects the bioavailability, and that's why it affects the therapeutic efficacy. This D50 is very important for manufacturing processes because D50 has impact onto the flow, onto the density, and that's why manufacturing processes are affected by the D50 value. D50 often correlates with the desired uniformity in the formulations. So always consider D50 as very much important parameter, or the most important parameter while you are dealing with the particle size. Whenever you are setting the particle size specification, always have a critical understanding about the D50. This is very critical parameter for the particle size. Then D90. So d90 is a parameter for controlling the larger particles. So d90 is the upper tail of the distribution, and d90 indicates the maximum size where 90% of the particles are smaller. If you consider d90 of 150 micron, that means 90% of the particles are below 150 microns. D90 ensures no excessive large particles. It prevents issues like slow dissolution or aggregation, and it is important for maintaining the uniformity in the final product. D90 is used to limit variability in the particle size. So it is the upper tail of the particle size distribution, and it will prevent the problems in the formulation like slower dissolution because of the larger particles presence, and it is also important for the content uniformity. Coming to the D10. So D10 means the 10% of the particles are below this size, and D10 insights into the fine fraction of the particles. It represents the size below which 10% particles fall, and D10 is considered as less critical compared to the D50 and D90 value, and D10 value can help to control fine particle content in the formulation, useful for ensuring uniformity in the fine powders or suspensions. And primarily D10 supports understanding of the fine particles distribution. So now you might have got idea about D10, D90, D50. D90 will control the larger particle size. D10 will control the finer particle size, and D50 will control, or it can control the median particle size. Then 100. So what is D100? D100 is the maximum particle size considerations, or the largest particle. So D100 you can consider as, if I give you the example like D100 of 200 micron. So all the particles are below 200 micron, and D100 represent the largest particle size, less commonly used in the specification, but still it is important. Generally you might have not seen about the D100 value, but sometimes it is used. D100 ensures particles aren't too large to affect the manufacturing processes, critical for safety, particularly in processes like filtration and mixing. And D100 focus typically more important for the processing concerns than the pharmacological performance, because D50 and D90 has the much control on the dissolution, solubility, dissolution rate, and bioavailability. So D100 is used sometime for some of the products. Once again, we will have a quick review for the D50, D90, D10, and D100. So D50 is the most critical parameter for the drug performance, and you might have got good idea about why D50 or median diameter is the key measure of particle size for drug substance, because it is directly related to the processing, content uniformity, dissolution rate, and bioavailability, and in turn it will have great impact onto the safety and efficacy of the formulations. D90 is controlling the upper tail of the particle size distribution. The importance of D90 is in managing the large particles and ensuring the product consistency. D10 gives you idea about understanding the fine fraction of the particle distribution. How D10 helps to control the fine particles and supports formulation uniformity. So you can answer this question like D10 controls the fine fraction. D100, the maximum particle size, and its role is in manufacturing. So the role of D100 is in maintaining the safe manufacturing process and prevent the processing issues. So this is the video regarding D10, D50, D90, D100, And now you will be able to understand, and you will be having good idea about the parameters for PSD or key considerations for PSD specifications, and you will know which of these value is most important. So D50 is most critical and it is most important as it is a median particle size. D90 controls the upper tail and D10 controls the finer fraction. D100 gives you idea regarding the larger particle size. So I hope you might have got good information for this topic, and if you have any questions and queries, please comment and I will try to answer your questions. Thank you for watching the video.